There we go. Sorry, Coach.
All good. Yeah, health-wise, no. Everyone is healthy and available. And I just wanted to send out deepest heartfelt condolences to the Babel family. Mike, who everyone in basketball knows, and obviously the great basketball family, great New England family. Just really sad to hear his passing. Awesome guy, great basketball guy, and he'll be missed by a lot of people.
Thanks, Coach. I saw Roger was up there first. Go to him then, Sam.
Hey, Dan, what are the big differences that you've seen in Haas from the beginning of this season? He just seems like he's much more composed out there and confident.
Yeah, I think for Hassan, obviously, being the starting quarterback is, it's easier. It's harder than being, like the backup who just comes in for, wildcat situations or what have you. So, just the pressure on you to have your team organized, to lead your team, to run our offense, to be at the point of attack on defense. Just there's a lot of pressure on point guards like there is on quarterbacks. And, I think he's done a great job of directing our offense. And then collectively as a group, not as good a job, leading our defense. And I think that starts with Alex and Samson and Hassan. If we're going to have years that were as good to us as 23 and 24, our defense is going to have to improve, dramatically. And we need Hassan to lead that charge.
He is a capable defender, right? I mean, he can be the one who leads that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for us is, and again, I want to thank 2023 and I want to thank 2024 as we turn to 2025. I want to thank those years for how good they were to us. But they were good to us because we had two-way players for the most part throughout our rotation. And right now we're a national championship contender and a Big East championship contender offensively, and defensively we're not contenders. We're defending like pretenders.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Sam, then Dave.
Hey, Coach. DePaul's is the third straight opponent that ranks top 25 nationally in three-point shooting. They have four players shooting over 40% from deep on good volume. Of course, you've done a good job with Xavier and Butler getting past those two opponents, teams that can really shoot from three. But how does preparing for DePaul differ in your perimeter defense strategy?
Yeah, we've for whatever reason, our struggles have been just significant guarding the line. Maybe beyond beyond Hassan on the perimeter. Maybe we're pretty young at the guard and the wing spots, minus Hassan. So there's some technique issues. There's some awareness there's been some scheme issues. And then I would say the fourth part of it, and those play the biggest role. And then I do think, we've been a little bit unlucky in terms of teams shooting just way above the norm of, that they would on shots, for whatever, that's a much smaller part of it. The technique, the awareness, being able to digest scouting report, understanding the scheme, those are the biggest issues. And then I think there's a small part of it that's been maybe a little bit unfortunate. People are making, even on, they're making a crazy amount of threes that are what we would consider semi-contested to contested. So, but we just overall defensively, if we can't fix our on-ball defense, our ball screen defense, our rim protection when Sampson's out of the game, and then our perimeter defense at the three-point line, it's going to be a very frustrating year.
Thanks, Coach.
25. All right, Sam.
Dan, as someone who's obviously had experience turning programs around, just wonder what you thought of what Chris Holtman's done. I mean, it's very early, obviously, but it seems like they're playing a lot better than they have in years past. And he's obviously brought in, I think, 13 new players. But what have you thought of? What do you think? Do you think does it feel like DePaul kind of looks a little bit different, a little bit better than they have in recent years? And how much does Chris have to do with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a new college basketball now. When a new coach takes over for a coach that's been fired. Normally, you're playing against a young team. Welcome to new college basketball with the portal and NIL. Whereas you'd normally be playing against a team with young players that return, and then a bunch of late signees that were available when the new coach gets the job. So I think year ones are obviously now much different for coaches. You're able to do what I thought Chris has done an unbelievable job of getting in some really old, experienced, tough players, both at guard, and at the center position. Having two different types of centers, and a butt kicker in Benson, a pick and pop 5-man, and then when you programs like Drake, it changes the identity. They're like a top 50 oldest team in the country. It's going to be, and they're significantly different and better, team than we've played against. Like none of those players, or none of those teams. It's not the same DePaul. This is, a DePaul team that is going to be really hard to beat, especially at their place. And then, and I think, Chris is going to have this, this program viable as an NCAA tournament team. I think, pretty soon. He's a really, really good coach.
Great, thanks.
Got it.
Joe, see if anyone else. Go ahead, Joe.
Dan, what more do you want to see from Aiden and Jaden, and sort of what roles do you envision them filling by the end of the year?
Well, I think it's so we're starving, for perimeter defense. Especially a big wing that could guard. The way Jaden Ross has. He's got attributes at the defensive end that could make us a lot harder to play against. So, and then he's just got to be far enough along offensively so that his minutes could get into the 20s, which is what we want. It was nice to see him hit a three at Butler. If he could I think he could bring some 3 and D. He could help us on the glass a lot, offensive glass and defensive glass. But those 3 and D capabilities, I think, would garner him enormous time on the court. We have enough shooting, scoring. We're second in the country in offensive efficiency, and that's with very little offensive rebounding and not a whole lot of transition offense because we can't get stops. But we're just this roster, this team is just screaming for a guy in the perimeter, a two-way player with size, and and he could cut into cut into people's minutes on the perimeter that aren't giving it to us defensively. And then Aiden, I think we're just we just need him to be assertive and aggressive. We need the guy that was really coming in off the bench and looking to be assertive and aggressive offensively, like he was against Baylor and like he was against Butler. Both of those games, he played a big role in us winning. So, I guess in a similar way to kind of what Joey Calcaterra gave us, something along those lines, and keep building on that, doing more.
Thanks, Dan.
Got it, Joe.
See Wayno in there, and then call it for last rounds. Wayne?
Hi, Dan. Just talk about the effect of having a week and a half off, how that disrupts your rhythm, what the guys did when they came back after the holiday, and what you focused on in practice when they came back.
Yeah, when you have such a long break, Wayne, it's you're almost back to those, those preseason type of practices. So for us, that they basically, from a basketball standpoint, they had 4 straight days where they didn't go live playing basketball. So we pushed really hard in practice, went back to practice plans we did with the team the 2 prior years at the end of the month. Try to get some of that mojo back, but just just really coach the defense and again make the team aware that we're not going to reach any of our goals with the current state of our defense, and that we all have a collective responsibility as coaches and players to give more at that end of the court. Again, we have the offensive efficiency in terms of what we're able to do, scoring the ball, field goal percentages, assist to turnover ratio, the stuff we run, everything we're doing offensively, I think will make us a contender for the things we want. But current state of our defense is not in a place to put us where we want to be.
Thanks, Wayne. Last call. Looks like we're all good, Coach. We will see you in Chicago.
Happy New Year. Thank you, 23 and 24. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.